let me ask you something. What happened to Chumbawumba, the band? Remember them? What happened? Have you ever heard about them? Like how they got their name? This is what I remember. The guy had a dream, and there were two doors, and on one door it said Chumba. The other door said Wumba. And that was where he got the name. For some reason I want to say it stands for man and woman, like almost like bathrooms, like the men's room and the ladies' room. That would explain the piss in the night away in the, tub thumping, which, by the way, no mention of thumping in the tub during that song. Simply getting knocked down, getting up again. And then once you do all that hard work, piss in the night away. You've earned it. You've been getting knocked down and getting up again all day. You deserve it, okay? Mr. Chumba, Mrs. Wumba. Hi, I'm DK. This is State of DK, episode 12? This might be episode 12. Who even knows anymore in this crazy world? How does it go, ye wanderer? I am doing well. I don't know why I said it that way, but I did. Ooh. Big stuff going on for me. We recently put an offer on a house. It's a crazy thing. If you've ever bought or even thought about buying a house, it's madness. We bought our first house when I was 20. I think I was 20. For some people that might seem young, and I guess it is. But we got a good deal, and to be quite honest, I think we probably pay less for rent to own. Wait, we probably pay less per month than it costs some people to rent. Not probably, I know this, because we got a great deal on our house. It's great. Now, the problem is the house is getting a little too small for us. We have a family, and there's not a lot of room in there. So if we want to be tub thumping, pissing the night away, guess what? You got to be quiet. Even if you are quiet, that kid's still going to wake up. It's going to happen. Or say I want to piss the night away by myself, I'm still going to wake everybody else up. It can't happen. So what I'm saying is, somebody buy my house so I could buy a better house. It'd be good. We'd have way more space to do things, run around, so much more room for activities. Like in Step Brothers, a movie that I love. Do you like that movie? It's fun. It's a stupid comedy. I like Will Ferrell. I like John C. Reilly. They make a good team. There's a car in front of me called a Geo Prism. Prism. They shouldn't be allowed to call it that, because I guarantee you if you Google this car, the Geo Prism, it is not worthy of a cool name like Prism. When I was a kid, I remember looking in a science book and seeing a picture of a prism and just being mesmerized. And then the teacher had a prism, and I remember just wanting to hold it and look at it and let the light go through it and see its light bending effects. It blew my mind. There's something about that, the science that you can see, that's beautiful. Love that. And I also love clear plastic things and glass. Any little trinkets that are clear. It must be something of my childhood that I don't know. I can't place exactly the thing. Like game controllers, PlayStation 1 controller, I had a clear one. And you could see the insides and just that clear plastic. My friend had a clear, I think it was it orange or red? N64 or green, one of those colors. I've seen them all. My friend had a clear colored one, and just I love that. There's something about that I'm just a sucker for. There's something about that look and the feel of it. And I love little, like when I was a kid, I had these little, they weren't actual glass, but they looked like little glass orbs, and they would catch the light. And I always play with them with my action figures, and those were some sort of powerful thing that they would be fighting about, and it's the orb of whoever. I love those. Also, ice. It's just aesthetically pleasing. One time I had this Pog tube. It was a tube for Pogs. Remember those Pogs? and I would fill it with water, and it was the perfect size for those Star Wars like 6-inch action figures. I had put Boba Fett in there and froze him, and then I took it outside and played in the snow while Boba Fett was kind of encased in his own kind of carbonite, huh? Yeah. I made up my own Star Wars word for it. I forget what it was. But he was encased in his own thing, and it was cool because he was floating there, all neat looking, frozen. And then it was part of the game that he went inside and was melted out and got his revenge on Han Solo or Batman or whoever he was fighting. That's the fun of playing with toys. Video games don't often give you that same freedom. I love video games, but there's something about playing with actual toys, figures, that is freeing. There aren't really any rules. It can be however you want. I haven't played with action figures in a long time. I haven't bought one in a long time. I used to collect Iron Man right around when the Iron Man movie, the first movie, came out. 2008, I think. I collected all of the Iron Man stuff. Even before that, though, I was super into Iron Man. Before the movie ever happened, he was always like my favorite Marvel guy. For whatever reason, I don't know. There's better. I even admit that there are better Marvel characters, but for some reason, Tony Stark he was always one of my favorites. I don't know why. He had a bunch of suits in the comics, and it's like perfect for merchandising because this is Stealth Iron Man, and this one's Hulkbuster Iron Man, and this one's Ultimate Iron Man, and there's there's a jillion revisions of the suit. I have a personal favorite. It's Ultimate Iron Man. You can Google it. He looks like a insectoid, some sort of bug. He's got weird bug eyes and like huge legs. I love that the legs are super thick with 2 C's. They're thick AF. Love it. He's awesome. And in the game Ultimate Alliance, if you've ever played that game, a game which I love and constantly reference, the best Iron Man costume is the Ultimate Iron Man costume because he has health regen and also very powerful physical attack. He can fly. He's also got projectile attacks and radial attacks. He's like a machine. He's like an iron. He's made of iron, but he's like still a man. I wish I wish I could call him something to illustrate that fact. Those facts, and they are facts, by the way. I consider them to be facts. Yeah, that's fun, right? I think Iron Man, the movie's great. I told Rockman on the last one. Did you listen to that interview? It was fun. Was it an interview or was it just a conversation? I'm going to call it a conversation. I don't think it was an interview. Just 2 friends talking. I hope that's okay with you. 2 friends just chatting it up about Superman. He needs to watch Iron Man. If you're listening to this, Rockman, just watch Iron Man. Come on. You'll enjoy it. You really will. You don't have to love Marvel. You don't have to know anything about Marvel. That's the beauty of the first movie. It's a great movie. You could take Iron Man out, and I think it would still be a good movie. I mean, it would be weird that it was a man with a suit of armor that's a lot like Iron Man, but I think the story is good enough on its own. It doesn't need to just simply be Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? It's good is what I'm saying. So's that water I'm drinking. Wow. I think my favorite Iron Man, though, Ultimate Iron Man, he's great. Look him up. He's neat. He's very unique looking. Here's one thing I'm legitimately excited about. That's what I said. It's not what I meant. If you read comic books, let me back up. Even if you don't read comic books, I've been reading this series called Paper Girls. I picked it up on sale on the Comixology app for $6.99. And I think you get the first 4 or 5 issues stuck in one. It's like a graphic novel, right? So it's like 144 pages. It's extremely stylized. I've read the first 2 issues worth. It's extremely stylized, beautiful art, and it's essentially like Stranger Things, but even more. It's like on a higher level, and by that I mean it's more insane than Stranger Things. But it's also a little bit more adult in some ways. There's more sweary Marys and gore. Not like crazy gore. Like, don't back up. Don't even But like a guy gets his head exploded and you see some blood, like it's not that bad. It's really no worse than Stranger Things, but there is some gore and some F-bombs and stuff, right? The plot is it's Halloween night, and these girls who are paper girls, they have to deliver. They're on their paper route, and then all of a sudden, they run into XYZ weird thing, and then oh no, what's happening? Why is this happening? And then, like, I don't want to give things away, but there's people and things that shouldn't be there getting in their way. And it's really interesting. And it's fun because you, like Stranger Things, get all these awesome references to 80s things. It takes place in 86, I want to say. I don't know when this came out. I don't feel like it's ripping off Stranger Things, like not on purpose. If it has some similarities, it has some similarities. But I don't look at it and go, oh, come on, guys. Like some of these things you're seeing now are. But this seems different. This seems like very unique to me. I like the Paper Girls angle too. But the whole thing is really interesting so far, and I'm not done with the first volume. But for $7, I'm loving it. Even if you don't love comic books, it's not like a superhero-y kind of comic book. Those I feel like I've grown out of, to be quite honest with you. Probably not going to read a whole lot more of Iron Man or Superman or whatever. I read those as a kid. X-Men was huge for me. I loved X-Men. There was an Image Comics, Youngblood. I read a ton of that one for some reason. There were a bunch. But generally now, I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm grown out of costume superheroes. I still love the movies. They're still fun because those characters are special for me as a child. Loved Captain America. Just, all those, fine. And right when those first started to come out, I was just probably at the end of the right age to enjoy those. So, yeah, I love those. But not all good. But anyway, this Paper Girls on the Comixology app, or if you can just buy it through Amazon digitally, highly recommend it so far. I'll keep you updated, but the art is so good, and it's just, there's really funny little references, and it's got these fun, like, this isn't really giving much away, but it's on Halloween, right? And these kids got up early to do their paper route, so it's technically the day after Halloween, but it's still like Halloween night, if that makes any sense. And like one of the first people they run into is dressed as Freddy Krueger, and it's just like, oh, there's Freddy! Like, that's fun. And also, if you're going, it's one of those little references. But then, like, you see kids' T-shirts are things you recognize, and there's like music on while you do so. Posters on the walls for things much like Stranger Things had. I really posters think for Evil Dead, like that. Something that like John Carpenter's Lost Themes would go great with it. Or I listened to the new Carpenter Brute album while I did, but I think, man, I don't know if I'm gonna have a song of the day because I don't do features. But it's more of like an album of the day, I'm going to say. Tell you what, if you read Paper Girls, which I think you should try. Again, it's like it's $6 right now. $6 or $7 right now. Totally worth it for the download. And if you like the download, get the physical one, which I may do. Maybe do some John Carpenter's Lost Themes. It's so good. I've talked about it before, but check this out. Come on. That synth, baby. Kids riding their bikes at night on Halloween night. Who's that in the street? Woo! It's that Fred Krueger. What are you doing here, Fred? Oh! Give me your candy. Anyway, come on. That's John Carpenter. Lost Themes. It gets me pumped. And I hope it gets you pumped to read Paper Girls. I promise. I'm not trying to sell it to you. I don't work for Paper Girls. I just really like it. I'm very excited and passionate about it right now. Even if you're not huge into comic books, if you're just okay with reading something, it's pretty good. It just happens to have, nice pictures with it. Enough about Paper Girls. I'm done with it. Throw it away. I heard recently that Monty Python may be coming to Netflix, which would be fantastic. I love Python. I have many favorite sketches. I don't know if I could tell you my favorite one. Also, it's now raining. You may be able to hear that. Great. That keeps happening during these. Rain. Python, though. I love Holy Grail. It's a classic movie, one of my favorite movies of all time. So funny. I love all the sketches. The classic ones. The Argument. It's Dead Parrot. That's Spam. Now for something completely different. Those are awesome. I love those. I love all the mainstream ones, and there's some weird ones I like too. Pardon me. I love Monty Python. It was one of those things where I would download the skits or even just parts of the movie as audio files from Napster back in the day. I know I've talked about this before, but there was something about that. You couldn't always watch the movie, or you didn't have access to the movie, but you downloaded the audio. I also did that with a ton of SNL sketches. All the Celebrity Jeopardy sketches, the Cowbell sketch, which really needs that visual element, but for whatever reason, I had the audio. Yeah, I don't know. Isn't that weird? Not having the visual is like you lose something there. But yeah, there was something about those Python sketches that just really, the absurdity. I always loved the voices they did, the wording. They always used funny, like very clever wording, unlike anything I'd ever heard or seen before. And which led me to, as a younger person, really think that British humor was superior. I don't agree with that anymore, although a lot of the humor that I like is British. One of my favorite comedy shows of all time at this point is Toast of London, which is just, if you have Netflix and you want to laugh, oh boy. First couple episodes are a little, like pilot one. The show changes a little bit as you go, but like once you get past the first couple episodes, it is, amazing. I would watch it again anytime. It's very funny. I can't even explain that show to you. It's very strange. It's good. I also love the show Extras. It's a Ricky Gervais show. Life's Too Short, another Ricky Gervais show. Those are great. I like... there's a ton of British comedy shows that I always liked. Fry and Laurie. There was one called Big Train. I don't really know anything about the show other than that I've seen the whole first and second season. I don't know if it's a second season. At least one season of it. I have that. Mighty Boosh. I love a show called Jam, which is terrifying and also hilarious at the same time. It's like a horror. I think maybe I talked about it already on here. It's like a horror comedy show where sometimes the horror is legitimately disturbing and, quite frankly, upsetting. It's just extreme. And then sometimes the comedy is so ridiculous. Like, just ridiculous. You can't help but love it. I love it. I like the dark stuff. I like the funny stuff. I like when they blend the two together. And Jam is a show that seems to be making some kind of statement. I don't know exactly what it is. It's kind of broad, but I love that one. Oh, Garth Merengue's Darkplace. If you want a British show that's hilarious. Yeah. I don't even know where to begin with that show. Just Google. I'll link it. Just the intro. If the intro alone doesn't sell you, there's no hope for you. Don't watch any of the things I just recommended because you're not going to like them. Garth Merengue's Darkplace is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Along with Mighty Boosh, of course. You've probably, even if you don't think you've seen Mighty Boosh, you've probably heard of Old Greg. You have a drunk Bailey's from a shoe? That's from Mighty Boosh. It's a whole show, and it's very funny and worth watching. Get those. They brought them over to Adult Swim much after they came out. Like years later. And it had this weird little renaissance in the U.S. But it's been done for a long time. There's also... That's one that came from audio. They did like audio dramas first. I think Flight of the Conchords did the same thing. That's another one I love, though. That's not British. Similar humor, I would say. But Boosh came from audio dramas, which I love those sorts of things. They're very funny and well written. Howard Moon is my spirit animal. And yeah. Pardon me. Jeez. This rain is making me cough. Is that a thing that can happen? I think that's a thing that's happening anyway. I don't know if there's a whole lot else to say. I think this has gone on. I think this has gone on long enough, don't you? Yeah. Wow. I got nothing. Thanks for listening as usual. Thanks for checking back in with me. I love doing this. I look forward to it. I'm trying to get the rhythm down, trying to nail down how many is appropriate to do in a week. I don't know if I'm going to ever have it right. You may see one every day for 5 days. You may see one every 4 days. Or any number in between. Who knows? So, yeah, again, thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. And hopefully I will be back with you shortly. Tell me your favorite British comedy. Tell me one. If you have one, tell me your favorite British comedy and we'll talk about it. Or I'll watch it because I'm into it. I'm very into it. I know I left a bunch out as well. All right. I wouldn't even talk about comedy movies, British comedy movies. I could do a whole episode about that. All right. Have a good one. May the farce be with you. And I'll talk to y'all very soon. Bye-bye.